listen, hold on. There's some folks that act like they know how to dance to Latin music. But I got a DJ in the Function Sound that's married to a Panamanian. Whoa. So he's allowed to play some Latin music. Oh, y'all. Entonces, amigos y amigas también, DJ Rome is in the house alongside his lovely wife, Miss D, and they're in the back dancing right now. We're at the top of the hour on the Friday Night Function show. We got another hour to go at least. This is the Spring House Sessions, hashtag Spring House Sessions 2017, night 2. We've been playing selections from the CEO of Nayo Day Music. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. And she is in the house live with us right now, Miss Inaya Day.
Yes.
Let's give her a round of applause in the studio. Awesome. Now, Miss Day, how are you enjoying this mix?
I am loving this mix. I haven't heard this in eons. It's Mike Cruz, DJ Mike Cruz. I had like 3 #1 Billboard hits with this guy. He's like my musical brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over it. Let's get into it. Right. DJ Ron, can I get into it here?
Yes.
All right. So, Miss Inaya Day, for those of us who do not know about you and your history, can you give us can you give us a synopsis of who you are? Because you just mentioned a couple of accolades. That's the first time I might be having that on the Friday Night Function show. #1, Billboard hits. So can you just give us some of your credentials?
Okay. Okay, we'll start from the beginning. I started with musical theater. I went over to Germany to do musical theater, and then somebody asked me to do a demo. I did a demo. That became Keep Pushing. Keep Pushing on. Then that went to a classic, and we had to do a follow-up. So I did Hold Your Head Up High. Follow that up with Horny. I'm Horny. We did that. And they kept hitting. Okay. So I said, well, I guess I'm in house music.
Right.
You know, I took the hint because at first I wasn't using my name. We were using aliases.
Okay.
You know, Boris Lugosh presents Boom, or Moose T versus Hot and Juicy. My name was in the credits, but not in the title of, you know, the artist title.
The actual song, right.
So a lot of people to this day are just figuring out that those songs are me. I posted my gold record for Horny, and people said, oh, I remember that song. I had no idea it was you. And I did that in 1998. Yeah. And thanks to God, within 1 year's time, this year and last year, I've had 3 Billboard Top 5s. Wow. And altogether, I have 7 #1s and 15 Top 10s.
DJ Ron, I need you to fade that all the way out. Just fade that all the way out. Okay, let's just make sure that we're clear. This is the Friday Night Function show. The most notorious show on independent radio. We are broadcasting right now at a college radio station, 104.9 WJRH. Let me say that legally because we're at the top of the hour. Broadcasted from the Hill here at Lafayette College. We're at the corner of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Right now, it's the Spring House Sessions Night 2. Night 2. We had Night 1 with Biblical Jones and Be-More House Erica. This is Night 2. DJ Rome is here. DJ Dog is here. Dr. D is over there in New York right now at the HCR situation they've got going on. Miss D is in here. LaShonda is in here. She's got a camera phone on me right now. We just played one of her tracks that was written by my guest artist, which is Miss Inaya Day. I had to say the legal ID because we're at the top of the hour for those of you listening on the podcast. This live broadcast is at 12 o'clock, but 1 o'clock in the morning. But let me go back. Let me go back because I don't think that we've actually had an artist on our show in the 3 years that I've been doing this show that they can say they've had, say that credential again, how many in the top 10?
7 Billboard #1 dance hits.
Billboard.
And 15 top 10s.
And 15 top 10s.
That's not counting the top 20s.
Not counting the top 20s. And did you say there was a certain amount of number ones?
7.
Oh! Let me just talk my ish. Let me, Dirty Fingers, just talk my ish just a little bit, because there's a lot of people up here in the Pocono Mountains all the way through the Lehigh Valley with radio shows. But they don't have artists on their radio shows that's got Billboard #1 hits. 7 of them. Let me just talk my ish. All right, there's a lot of people that think they're producing radio up here in the Poconos down to the Lehigh Valley. But we haven't seen an artist of Anaya Day's caliber on their airwaves yet.
Yeah.
I know that I'm smart, but I'm not unique. You know what I mean? There's other people even brighter than me in this radio situation. But why hasn't Anaya Day been at their station? Let me tell you why. Because they are not Dirty Fingers. They're not members of the Function Sound, and they don't produce the most notorious show of independent radio. What show did you come to? The Friday Night Function Show.
Friday Night Function Show.
Please tell these people what your name is.
My name is Anaya Day on WJRH. Get into it.
DJ Rome, that's the drop right there, DJ Rome.
That's it.
That's the drop right there. Okay, Dirty Fingers, DJ Rome, Anaya Day. What more can be said? I just want to talk like it's just a second right now. I know it's Resurrection Weekend. I should be humble. And listen, all praises due to God. I run the #1 show in this market.
Boom.
If I could drop the microphone, I didn't pay for it, so I can't drop it. But I'm just So, Anaya, thank you so much for taking it. I say all that to say thank you for taking the time to stop on by our little show.
Yes.
To bless us with your presence.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Listen, we had luminaries so far. Aaron Prince called in just to shout you out. So that I know you're doing big things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So new material that you have out right now. I mean, actually, let's go over some of the classics that people know you for.
Okay.
We just played a Frankie Knuckles cut, right? That I was saying like this is springtime music. Tell us the names of those.
The Frankie Knuckles things. Well, you know what? I wanted to do an EP or an album, and I had talked to someone in Europe who shall remain nameless.
Okay.
And they decided, yeah, I'll produce your album because I've never had one. I have over 90 singles, and I've never done an album.
Really?
Yes.
So that's coming on your label soon, then I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
we intend.
In the name of Jesus.
Yes.
All right.
I claim it and I believe it right now.
That's right.
But so the guy said he was going to do it and everything. I guess he saw that it would be something that would be a cute little payoff for him, since he was like, hey, she's never done an album. All of a sudden, he was like, well, it's going to cost blah, blah, blah per track. Wow. And at first it was like, oh, and I will do this for you. Yes, he's in Germany.
Okay.
I will do this for you. And then the next thing you know is, but now it will cost, So we let him go. Right. And I was talking to Frankie Knuckles, the godfather of house music.
That's right.
Bro. We
right.
called each other Wonder Twin because our birthdays were one day apart.
Really?
Yeah, his last birthday we had together.
Okay.
Actually, in Chicago. And I told him my story of woe. And he said, baby girl, why didn't you just tell me? I would have produced your album. I was like, but you're Frankie Knuckles and you don't have time. And I didn't want to bother you. You know, I know I call you my brother, but I didn't want to take advantage.
Yeah, Death Mix and all of that.
He said, okay, you know how you sound, right? Of course I'll do your album. I was like, oh my God.
So did you start production on that before you passed?
He sent me, we have 6 tracks.
Wow.
And we released, the first one was Let's Stay Home.
Okay, which you played.
Yes, which we played. And then the next one, which is on his album, the last album he did, Tales from the Tone Arm, from Beyond the Tone Arm. There's a song with Robin S. and me.
Wow.
And it's called Right Now. We both wrote it together and everything. Right Now. And then after that, after he passed, shortly after he passed, we released the duet with myself and Dwayne Hardin.
Okay.
Another legend of house. And that's Good Feeling that you just heard. And then we have one coming with me and Ultranate. And then another one with just me called Stay. And it's an ode to Frankie.
Okay.
It says, stay. You want to go stay, stay. But at first, of course, when he was here, I didn't write it with that intention. He was like, oh, that's hot. Da, 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 da. And then when he passed, it took on a whole other meaning. Wow. So I re-recorded it.
So let me. Okay. So the obvious question for me to ask you is this: what was Frankie Knuckles like? So for those of you listening right now on the podcast, shout out to WBMC Radio. This is going around the world in about 3 weeks or so. Okay, they distribute my shows as a podcast when I edit them. So please tell all of our international listeners who love house music or even like house music and have definitely heard of Frankie Knuckles. You're the first person I've met that actually knew him, that I'm talking to radio-wise.
Right.
What was he like?
He was fun, funny, very intelligent, and very encouraging. Like, and a protector.
Really?
Yeah.
Big brother type.
Oh yes. He's like, you all right, baby girl? Listen, if something's going wrong, you let me know. And let me know what's going on. When I came to Chicago, I was performing for their Pride Festival, and he came and stood by on the side of the stage. And he said, everything all right? I said, yeah, the road manager has it. He said, let me know. If you need me for anything, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I was like, but you don't have to do that. We have people for that. He did not care. He stood there like, I dare you to do something wrong with her sound. I dare, he always looked out. He called, made sure everything was right with my mind as far as music is concerned. And he talked me through a lot of things. And the good thing about it is that with all that he I'll say is because he is still a lot of things to a lot of people, and he lives on through his music and the things that he's left such a legacy. And through all the things that he still listened to me. Like if I offered any sort of advice or a suggestion, he said, you think so? Maybe I'll try that. Wow. He was still open to listen to little old me. He was always open to learn, even though it's a genre that he kind of co-created. He's a godfather of house music. He didn't have to listen to me. I mean, I always told him, I said, but I'm here because of you. Because of what you did. There's house music, and I didn't think he would listen to me, but he did attentively. And he gave what I said credence. He didn't say, oh, okay, and brush it off. He really thought, wow, what I think.
He considered.
I think besides being one of the greatest DJs, because he was so open to all different types of music, besides being one of the greatest DJs, he's one of the greatest people that ever graced this earth. And if he crossed your path, he made each person feel as if they were the most important person to him. Wow. Like everybody, when I listened to people at his memorial, I was like, yeah, he was like that to me too. Yeah, I was like, thought I was the only one.
So that's a good segue to my next question regarding The Godfather. Did he know? Was he aware of his clout, of what we as fans saw him as in terms of The Godfather? Did he claim it?
I think to an extent he did. He understood. In one of his interviews, he said, everybody's saying, oh, why don't you change? Why don't you go with the flow? Music is changing now. You need to change. And he said, no, this is what I love, and this is how I'll do it. Yes, I'm open to listen to all kinds of things, but I'm going to play what I feel. And if they don't like it, that's fine. And the same people who are beefing at me or saying, oh, he's not going to last much longer. Oh, he's in passe, whatever. Those are the same people going to be praising me when I'm gone. Wow. That's what he said in his interview, and that is the truth.
Wow. And Naya Day right there. First-hand knowledge, man, for those of us who love house music but never met The Godfather. Listen, I don't know. Who's that? I've met Boyd Jarvis. I've met Strafe, but I didn't meet The Godfather. And I wasn't around, at least I wasn't old enough to be around for Larry Levan, So for those of us who get to hear these stories firsthand from folks who have met these folks, it's definitely a treat. DJ Rome, let me turn your microphone on. Listen, I'm going to let you know something. I told DJ Rome I wasn't going to be doing it. I told him that. I told him and I told Dog, on your nights, I'm just going to be on the board. I'm going to be doing social media, and I'm having too much of a good time. I need to fall back and let my man do his thing.
Romy
Rome. All right. Let me make sure your mic is on, sir. Is that the blue?
Testing. I think it's the yellow.
It's the yellow?
Testing 1 2.
I just don't hear you on my headphones. I'm not sure why. Oh, this is live radio. Why not? Talk again, Rome.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Yeah,
DJ Rome on mic number 2.
Yeah, I see a signal. I definitely see a signal. It's probably that microphone.
Maybe it's the mic is bad.
Yeah.
It's probably that microphone. I don't know if there's any way you can adjust it.
You might have to give up your chair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. Here you go, Ron. Let me get up the chair. She's absolutely right. I can edit all this out.
Now you have to take a look out, Mike.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Let me act like I know what I'm doing behind here. So.
don't even.
Miss Anaya Day.
Yes.
We have house music royalty in the house.
Indeed.
Yes.
I mean, when I started, and I was telling you this off air, when I started going through just a small portion of your catalog, I was just amazed at how much of the music I really, really liked. I mean, really liked. And that's rare. That's rare that somebody would just have that much music. And here's the other thing. I told myself before I got on air I wouldn't blush.
Oh, God.
But he introduced you as a vocalist, among other things.
Yes.
But child, you a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
For
throw
reals.
down. And
Okay.
and the thing about it is, I listen to your records and you sound phenomenal.
Thank you.
But then I watch you on video and you sound even better. Now I say that's when you know you're a real singer. Tell us a little bit about how you got started singing.
Wow. Well, of course, my beginnings, church. You know, I think church was the first place I ever went, from the hospital to the house to the church. And my mother was always in choir rehearsal, my aunts and everything. So I was exposed to gospel early. And then my cousin Saul is the leader of the group Sky that made Call Me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so in the basement at my Aunt Dot's house, I was afforded the opportunity to listen to Sky rehearse, to listen to Cameo rehearse, to listen to Brass Construction. I'm sitting there listening to all these people. So it's like funk got in my blood. So I had gospel, then I had funk. Then I went to the High School of Music and Art, which is they also call the Fame School. And I learned classical music. I always loved it, but I learned it. I can sing in different languages, you know, different Italian art songs, French art songs, German art songs, yada, yada, yada. And that got into me. So I am a culmination of all of these things that have been fed into me, into my spirit and psyche. And I moved on to do musical theater. And then that got me. I started doing musical theater when I was 12 or 13 years old. And then I started traveling for musical theater, which eventually took me to Germany. I lived in Germany for 5 years.
Wow.
And while I was there the first year, someone referred me to Moose T, who produced Horny, and introduced me to Boris Lugosh, who did Keep Pushing and Hold Your Head Up High. And I rode on the train for 4 hours from Dusseldorf to Hanover, and I just sang. They had a little skeleton track, which became Keep Pushing, and I just sang some stuff off the top of my head, just coming off the flute. In the beginning of the song, I don't know if you remember, it goes, "It's so low for me." Because they said, "More power, Inaya, if you could sing it with more power." And I said, "Well, I'll try, but, you know, I'm just getting off of a cold, and it's so low for me."
Meaning
And
the
they
key.
kept it, meaning the key. And they kept it so low for me, so low for me. And I said, "Oh, snap." You know, so that's how that happened.
Oh, wow.
But I thought it was just a demo. And I went home on hiatus from the show, came back to Brooklyn, vacuuming my carpet on the New Day Master Mix, 98.7 KISS. And it said, "Keep pushing on." And I said, "Oh, that sounds familiar." Just like I did here. I don't know my own music. You know, so it's playing, and I'm vacuuming. And I said, when it got to, "No, the mountain seem too high," I said, "Wait a minute, that's me." And I said, "I'm on the radio. I'm on the radio. Mom, on the radio." So I said, "Wait a minute, I'm on the radio." So I called my people. They called their people, and everything worked out wonderfully, and we kept on. And then we did a remake of Nasty Girl that crossed over and went to pop, and it just kept growing and growing. I was in hip hop and R&B first. I sang with, I did a duet with Queen Latifah, a ballad for her brother Lance, and it's called "What You Gonna Do," and it's on her album Order in the Court. I did 3 or 4 songs with MC Light, Naughty, Big Daddy Kane. I've done a lot of that. And so at that time, you couldn't really blur the lines between hip hop and house. you know, you couldn't do both.
Right.
So now there are really no genres.
Right, right.
Back then there were. So I was like, I don't want to do house music. I mean, I love it, but you know, don't put my name on it. So that's why they're under aliases, like Boom, and, you know, project names.
Right.
But then after the third one hit and went international, and all three of them are now classics, Keep Pushing, Hold Your Head Up High, Horny, I was like, well, God's trying to tell me something. I guess I'm a house artist. So then I started using my name. If you look after that, it's my name.
Okay.
Because I got the memo.
Right.
You know? So that's how I got in it.
Straight from heaven. Wow.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. And I'm sitting here listening to that incredible journey that brought you to here.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how you fit all of that in a mere 27 years, because you can't be much older than 27.
20. Oh, bless you, bless you. Won't he do it?
Oh my!
I started when I was 6.
Okay. All right. Now we're talking. My goodness. I mean, just and I being from New York.
Yes.
I talk a lot about the culture of music and how hip hop and dance music and disco and house music, when it came out, all were together. We did it all together.
Yes.
And so to hear you talk about it in that way, except for when it came to being a selling artist, then there was the separation.
Exactly.
Right. So very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Wow. So what do you have coming up outside of the Frankie Knuckles project? Do you have anything else new coming out?
Yeah, we're going to continue with the Frankie Knuckles project, but I also have, I guess I can say it now because it's coming soon. I have a duet produced by Terry Hunter, who many of you may know, produced It's Your World for R. Kelly and Jennifer Hudson.
Wow.
He also produced a song for me and Jocelyn Brown. Can't get out behind her. So we have a song coming called Move of the Spirit.
Oh.
Yeah, so we already laid that down, and it's in its final stages.
And you and Jocelyn Brown are?
We did the duet. Yeah.
So now that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and she's one of my vocal influences, actually, because when I was younger, I listened to her, and I noted how she could sing something so mellow and then go, ah, and go back to mellow seamlessly without having to wait, I need a break. No, she could do it seamlessly, and singing along with her trained me to do the same thing. So everybody now asks me, how do you squall like that all night and then do a ballad? And it's because of Jocelyn Brown. And to be able to sing with somebody whom I revere that way, it's a blessing.
So, in my own mind, I was looking at the pantheon of house music and female vocalists. And I said to myself, from my day, of course, there was Lolita Holloway and Gwen Guthrie.
Yes.
But Jocelyn Brown, she was that girl. And so I said, now today, when I looked around and I listened to the vocalists, I said, I'm not throwing shade on anybody. But to me, you are that girl.
Hello.
What?
Hello.
Come on now.
That's 2 endorsements in 2 weeks.
Now listen, I'm not saying I know what I'm talking about, but I saw what Frankie said. Frankie Knuckles said, how did it take me so long to get connected with you? And it's because your talent. And there's something else that comes across, and it's very apparent. There's a humility that just, it radiates from you. And it's kind of strange to say humility radiates, but it's because the other thing doesn't. The pride and the, you know, I'm all this and I'm all that. No, you're very comfortable with your gift, but you don't make it more than what it is. But it's very special. And I am honored to be here sitting with you, interviewing you on the Friday Night Function. My name is DJ Rome.
Come on, Deacon.
And this
Come on, Deacon.
is Anaya Day.
You're making my cheeks hurt from grinning. Dang. You can't do that in public.
There you go. Yeah, I felt like he was about to go there now. I felt like he was about to go there. Because your gift.
Yeah, he was getting ready to preach.
Well, turn the music up.
Now. That was
You took it off. You took it off.
Wow.
Oh.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You did? Okay. You catch it when I send you the show.
That should have been playing while he was talking.
Right. No, he would have went there. So
Right.
that's the
He
deacon.
was trying to find it.
Woo! DJ Rome right there. And Naya Day right there. We was about to go in. He was about to go in. Give him a couple more minutes.
You need to take up collection.
Oh, yeah. Hello. That's the deacon right there. The elders in New York right now at the HCR 30-hour marathon. But the deacon is here with Anaya Day. We're about to cut the dancers out here in a second. Shout to Pastor Phil. He already knows. #DJs love Jesus too.